someone requested that I put up a Sega Saturn collection video, so prepare yourselves, because that is what you're getting. I was blowing off the dust on my Sega Saturn keyboard, which, this is my Sega Saturn keyboard, and it ends with the standard keyboard plug, the PS/2 or whatever thing. And so you can use this with a PC, and you know, it's a full-size keyboard, just with the Sega logo in the upper right hand corner. And this is the Sega Saturn keyboard adapter, so you can use any standard PC keyboard with this. And this is for Netlink and web browsing. So that's for. So my Netlink collection was complete once I finally tracked down one of the keyboards. Let's see. This is the Sega Saturn Netlink Mouse, which this came with a mouse pad, but I don't think it, I'm not sure if that's what it originally came with or if it's just something that the person on eBay threw in there. But there's my boxed Netlink mouse. Speaking of the Netlink, this is one of my two Netlinks. This is the one that I actually use. Let's see. This is my official backup RAM card or ROM card. This is the backup memory card. This is official Japanese Sega Saturn memory card. This is what's usually in my cart slot on my Saturn. I prefer using the official stuff. Let's see, Sega Saturn bootleg sampler. Never fired it up, no idea what's on there. Virtua Cop, don't have a light gun, someday I will, I'll probably play it. Daytona USA, another copy of Virtua Fighter 2, and there's something under it. Apparently I have a copy of Crazy Taxi for the Dreamcast in there as well. This is a loose copy of North by Northwest Lost Vikings 2. This is Enemy Zero, don't have a case for it, but... And Three Dirty Dwarfs. It really bothers me that I don't have a case for it, because this is one of my all-time favorite Sega Saturn games. So, when I bought this, you know, I just got it cheap because it's a game I'd never played before. Really wish I would have sprung the, you know, the extra like $5 to get a complete copy. This is also an rental. I actually like leaving these stickers on because I think it's interesting having these. Like, you know, Video Master from Wakefield, Massachusetts. You know, that place is probably out of business. Virtual On Netlink Edition. This is one of my favorite games. It's one of the few Netlink games. This is the one that I do the best at. This is one of the few Netlink games that I can actually win at when I play. Thanks to Wipeout 7 in his strategy video, it actually really improved my game. I got this for $4 and some change, brand new shrink wrapped on eBay. Someone listed it as Virtual On for the PlayStation 1, so someone didn't know what they had. And it's like, fuck it, man, I'll bid on it and see if I win it. You know, worst case scenario, I waste $5. And there's no picture. It's just Virtual On Netlink Edition for the PlayStation. So I was like, well, for $5 I'll find out what it is. This is my jewel case copy of Nights into Dreams. Let's see. Wing Arms. Really fun flying game. I actually enjoy it. Mission stick compatible if you happen to have one of those. Super Bust-A-Move 2. This is one of my Craigslist finds. Oh, what is going on with that cover? Brilliant game, but what is going on with that cover? D. Interesting game. I went through it one time. It's one of those games that you go through once every like 5 years just to go through it. Duke Nukem 3D. Netlink playable. Excellent game. Brilliant first-person shooter for its time. Saturn Bomberman. Manji from the Saturn League hooks me up with this. Thank you. This is one of my favorite Saturn games. My copy of Nights into Dreams, the long box version. I bought this one in the jewel case first, and it has a big fucking scratch in it and wouldn't play, so I ended up buying another copy, and it ended up being the long box, so I have both variants. Cool if you're a collector. You know, I guess. Some people are. Panzer Dragoon, which I keep the first 2 discs of Panzer Dragoon Saga, my CDR copies, in there, you know, just to keep them somewhere that makes sense. And then the other half of Panzer Dragoon Saga on the CDRs in here. And then that's Panzer Dragoon Zwei. Let's see. Solar Eclipse by Crystal Dynamics. Let's see. The Mansion of Hidden Souls. Haven't beaten this yet. NASCAR 98. Most of my junk games I keep in my in like a drawer. So there's like a whole bunch of Saturn games that I don't consider part of my collection. Don't really consider this part of my collection, but it's got a good case, so I keep it out so that I can swap it eventually when I get a game I do give a shit about and need a case. Battle Monsters. I don't think I've even played this yet. This is something I got in a bundle on Craigslist, I believe. I could be wrong. Wipeout. I think I got this in the same bundle on Craigslist. Daytona USA, long box. Virtual Racing. Cool, I guess. Not a big racing game fan. I don't even know why I have this. Myst. The only time I ever played Myst was on the Sega Saturn back in the day. My aunt had a boyfriend whose name I completely forget. I think it was Stan, actually. Anyway, he had a Sega Saturn, and he had Myst and Panzer Dragoon, the first one, and what was it? Road Rash 3D. So those were my first experiences with 32-bit gaming. Tempest 2000, wonderful game. Got that for like $5. Here's my complete copy of North by Northwest, The Lost Vikings. Good game, but the Super Nintendo version's significantly better art style. Darius Gaiden. Excellent game if you like spaceship shooters. Tomb Raider. This is one of the few games I had to quit playing because the graphics were so ass. Now, I would say that most of the problem was that I was playing this on an HD TV with a Sega Saturn. Now, I do have my Sega Saturn hooked up with S-Video, so it does look a little bit sharper. But there were switches on the walls. I was so stuck. I had no idea where to go. It's the second stage. So I got on YouTube. I looked up the second stage of Tomb Raider. And there's these 2 switches you had to flip or something. And I couldn't see them because the textures were so grainy that like they just looked like part of the wall. So I had no idea. So I just like, screw it, man. I'm done playing this game. This is one of those games that I might go through, you know, just watching along on YouTube and go through it just to say that I've seen the game all the way through. Not that I actually, you know, want to try and figure it out on my own. I just want to go through it to go through it. Astal, however you say that. I would say Astal. Doesn't have the name on the spine. Quirky thing. It's the only Saturn game that doesn't, as far as I'm aware. Let's see, Battle Arena Toshinden. Excellent. Let's see. SimCity 2000. Backup, highly recommended. This thing will take up all of your internal memory. This one game will take up all of the built-in internal memory on your Sega Saturn. And I believe this one is mouse compatible. And I really loved SimCity on the Super Nintendo. That's the only time I've ever really played SimCity. So I picked this up for like $5 a long time ago, and I still haven't touched it. But I do want to go through it with the mouse, because I believe this is one of the games for the Sega Saturn that's compatible with the mouse. Let's see. Sega Rally Championship and Netlink Edition. And I've got... Ooh, here's another one. Dark Savior. When I bought Panzer Dragoon Zwei from someone off SaturnLeague.com's forums, he threw in a bonus copy of Dark Savior because he had a loose copy in his collector, I believe. This is a pseudo-sequel to Landstalker on the Genesis, made by the same company. Both really good games. And then I've got a sealed Sega Saturn Planet Web browser, and then I've got a loose one that, you know, they're basically useless. I do not have dial-up internet, and who does? This is one of my video CD cards. This is my complete one. This is actually the shittier one of the two that I have. The other one's inside my Sega Saturn right now. And that one will let you view photo CDs as well as video CDs, but, you know, I was grabbing stuff off the shelf, so grab this too. Just show that again. And that is pretty much everything in my Saturn collection, except for, you know, like the controllers. I've got all three of the Sega Saturn controllers, the Model 1, the Model 2, and the Nights into Dreams analog controller. I've also got 4 Saturns, 2 Model 2s, and 2 Model 1s. I use the round button one. I forget which is which. Forget which one came out first, the round or the oval buttons. But I use the round button one because that one's mod chipped. And I was talking to someone, they said, wow, you've only got, you know, that many games. I'm like, well, the list on my website only shows the actual games that I own, the real copies. Now, if we were to count burnt games, I have an entire spindle of like 50 burnt Sega Saturn games, because there's a lot of rare and import stuff that just really, really costs out the ass. So like Panzer Dragoon Saga, I'm not paying $200 for that game, but I will pay 40 cents in blank CDs for it. Guardian Heroes, you know, stuff like that. I'm not paying $80 for a 15-year-old used CD. Just too risky. Yeah. This was in no particular order. These are all the Saturn games that I own. All of the ones that I keep out do have the have been swapped with the shitty cases. So all of these have intact cases. Something I care about. I do have a couple more Saturn games, but it's like generic sports games and stuff that I'm going to give away if anyone will take that garbage. But yeah, that's my Sega Saturn collection. Thank you for watching and stuff. More videos, reviews, and stuff on the way. Check out MondoCoolCast.com. This is the first video I'm putting up since I've teamed up with the creator of DefunctGames.com. Mondo Cool TV can now be seen on DefunctGames.com. It's going to be episodes are going to be going up in a bi-weekly fashion. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching me look at some of my Sega Saturn junk.